Continuing from the previous episode 1450. Xiao Yan had just exchanged the 1,000-year-old Xuanbing. Feeling extremely happy, he slowly left the medicine pavilion and headed towards the busy city on the side. The medicine market medicine pavilion is basically just the intersection of medicinal herbs, and only the downtown area has concentrated countless strange places, so it is also called a treasure hunt area by everyone. Xiao Yan came out of the medicine pavilion, and it was almost evening. Against the backdrop of the rising sun, he slowly walked towards the downtown. Suddenly, around the bustling downtown, there were dazzling red lanterns hanging everywhere, quite festive. Let's see if I can find treasures. Xiao Yan walked around, constantly shuttling in the downtown. With these red lanterns against the background, and the crowds surging, the downtown was also quite lively. Damn, the Four Continents competition has not started yet. Not far away, the two men walked slowly. Both of them possessed a strong aura, even the aura of one of them, which made Xiao Yan quite familiar. Brother Mu Shi, don't be impatient. It is said that this four-continent competition has gathered a lot of strong people, so it will be an unprecedented lively. Another man laughed. It's actually Xian Pavilion and Crazy Dragon Alliance. It is said that these two powers are close to the status of overlords on the Western continent, and it is rumored that the relationship between the two forces is not good. How can the young masters of the two forces be so close now? ? Seeing the two figures walking around, some guys with high identities in the downtown area were also slightly puzzled. Forget it. I still don't want these troubles. It seems to be surrounded by a lot of people. Go and have a look. The two of them just finished their voices and immediately walked towards a square where people were surging. What place is this? It's so lively. Xiao Yan walked around and came to the center of the downtown square. For some reason, there were hundreds of figures gathered here, which was quite magnificent. Hey! Succumb to all of you! Our Zubao Hui is a recognized gathering place for treasures inside Tianming Villa, and in order to maintain the majesty of the owner of Tianming Villa, we will auction some of the treasures we have acquired at regular intervals. At this time, the center of the square, a middle-aged man spoke slowly, his voice filled with a smile. Immediately, behind the man, in a place shrouded in red light, a young man who looked like a wolf was slowly bound in the cage. The man had a violent aura that was as violent as a soul beast, which made people feel disgusted. Today's Tianming Villa is busy preparing for the Four Continents competition, and naturally neglects this guy. Otherwise, if they are made aware of this guy's existence, it is impossible for the treasures to be auctioned. What is this? Looks like a human? Auctioning off human beings without authorization is a big taboo. Many experts around him were surprised when they heard the words. Obviously, even if it is the special nature of Yin Hushan, it can't be so blatantly auctioning people, not to mention that it is still inside Tianming Mountain Villa. What exactly are you Zubao Hui doing? Didn't the owner of the village say that the population cannot be auctioned? You are provoking the majesty of the villa master by doing this? After a while, some aboriginal residents of Sifang City questioned the same enemy. Hey, I think you all misunderstood. This guy is indeed a human, but in a sense, he is not a human. The middle-aged man of the Zubao Hui laughed. This guy has such a strong ghost energy. But the breath on his body is the same as ours. Why is this? Some onlookers asked in surprise. There is a big difference between humans and ghosts. This guy is a combination of a human and a ghost? At the next moment, a bold thought emerged in Xiao Yan's head. With his huge soul power, he found out that this guy's dazzling ghost and human anger were astonishing. Can be determined. But that's not right. Most of the ghosts are wandering ghosts without bodies. How can they have a relationship with humans and give birth to offspring? After a while, Xiao Yan asked in doubt. Nothing is impossible. After the ghosts are reborn through some means, they will also carry the original ghost energy, so this is what happens. However, the children born in the ghost world and humans basically die if they don't live beyond the age of 3, because ghosts in the ghost world will die. Qi and human anger are different, they are incompatible with each other. But this guy, I'm afraid that his age has changed to 20 years old. It's really amazing. I'm afraid there is something in this guy's body. After a while, the Master of Soul Eater also murmured. Even the Master has never seen the combination of ghosts and humans? Now it was Xiao Yan's turn to be surprised. I've seen it before, but unfortunately, I haven't lived past the age of 10. Because ghosts and anger devour each other, most of them are still babies and die. The Lord of Soul Eaters shook his head. But this little guy must get it. This is the first time I have encountered it in my life. If I train well, I will definitely be a right-hand man in the future. The Soul Eater said firmly, and he also had a brand new plan in his heart. Even in the history of the ghost world, the chance of a human being combined is quite small, let alone missed adulthood. Okay. Xiao Yan nodded lightly, although he didn't know what kind of mystery this guy had, but the Master of Soul Eater had said so Xiao Yan naturally would not refuse. What the asterisk is this guy? Some irritable figures couldn't help asking. He is the child of humans and ghosts. If you are interested, make an offer. After a while, the man from the Zubao Hui opened his mouth softly, and his voice was full of jokes. Zubao Hui cooperated with Tianming Mountain Villa to send the auctioned materials to Tianming Mountain Villa. After all, Tianming Mountain Villa consumes a huge amount of resources in order to maintain the operation of the entire region. The child of ghosts and humans? How could it be possible to live so long? What secret is there on this guy? As the voice of the Zubao Hui man fell, he suddenly burst into whispers. 3 Emperor level 3 level Heaven level medicinal pills. 2 Immortal level 4th grade Earth level medicinal pills. A prescription for Immortal rank 4th grade Heaven rank. Quote. In an instant, after a short discussion, there was a terrifying scramble for the price, and many figures were carried out. Obviously, they all wanted to take this guy away, so as to find out. Is this too cruel? Forget it. Let's be a hunter. Xiao Yan originally planned to bid for a test, but there were very few things on his own that he could come up with, so he could only dispel his thoughts. This man-ghost combination seems to have some familiar fluctuations. The next moment, the soul force passed through many figures and slowly walked towards the caged man. This human being, it seems. It smells like a father. The next moment, when Xiao Yan's soul power touched, the man who was trapped in the cage was slowly projecting his black pupils towards Xiao Yan's position, and suddenly muttered. Talk to yourself. Wang buzzing. And as Xiao Yan was stared at by the man in the cage, the same fluctuations appeared between his eyebrows. This guy, could it be the heir of our senior Xiao family? When Xiao Yan noticed this scene, his pupils shrank tightly, and he lost his voice in his heart. Because at this moment, Xiao Yan suddenly sensed a force that was exactly the same as his own from this guy. That power is nothing else. It is the power of the Xiao clan's bloodline. Dear, click in and give a good review. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that those who give full marks to the new ones have finally found a beautiful wife. The new version of the mobile station upgrades the address. Data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, no ads and fresh reading. Continuing from the previous episode 1451, the power of the blood of the Xiao clan is something that only the people of the Xiao clan can possess. And with the power of blood, it is possible to summon clan marks to help out, and even cultivate some little-known things. The power of that kind of thing is enough to really shake the heroes, and even the most important thing. It is this guy who is related to the Xiao clan. I am afraid more or less know something about the Xiao clan. This guy, who is it? The next moment, Xiao Yan hurriedly suppressed the fluctuations and suppression of the power of blood in his body and the clan lines between his eyebrows, so as not to let the surrounding figures notice anything strange, but then his heart was turned upside down. There is no doubt that after Xiao Yan was exchanged blood by his ancestor Xiao Zhan in the Do-Chi continent, he possessed the purest blood power of the Xiao clan in his body, and even experienced some mysterious things later, in the clan lines between his eyebrows. Seems to be hiding there Xiao clan's guard, the 10 Temple Yama. Even so, Xiao Yan still has no solution to the secret of the Xiao clan's elimination in the Great Thousand World. Now, when he encounters the familiar smell of this human-ghost combination, Xiao Yan's heart is shocked. That is clearly the taste of their Xiao clan. But now that he met this guy, Xiao Yan would not give up no matter what, and would definitely rescue him safely. What's the matter? The Soul Eater Master naturally did not notice these things, and immediately felt Xiao Yan's sudden change of mood, and asked in doubt. Master, I am afraid that this guy has the blood power of our Xiao family. Xiao Yan said solemnly, his voice was very firm. What? He has the power of your Xiao family's bloodline on him? Suddenly, the Master of Soul Eater was also shocked. Well, it's not wrong. Xiao Yan nodded affirmatively. Even if the power of the soul is wrong, the power of blood is not wrong. No wonder, no wonder. I said that a baby born with a combination of human and ghost will definitely not live to be 10 years old, but if he actually survives to adulthood, so he has the power of your Xiao family bloodline, then it makes sense. After all, the word Xiao family is in Daqin. In the world, it has great magic power. The next moment, the Master of Soul Eater also smiled relievedly. No wonder he felt strange at the beginning. Since that's the case, this guy must get it. Xiao Yan nodded slowly, and then he stopped talking. His breath was hidden. Once there was a winner in the auction, he would immediately take further action. This guy has the smell of the Xiao family, Xiao Yan said. Nothing will miss this opportunity. Maybe it will let Xiao Yan know a lot of things, and even if he returns without success, as a member of the Xiao family, Xiao Yan has the responsibility and obligation to rescue him. I will create a quasi-immortal technique. In an instant, Mu Shi on the side said directly to the many figures in Taichung. Quasi-immortal technique? After hearing the words, many experts present looked at each other in dismay. Obviously, this word has the magic power of shocking power. This guy is really willing. The value of quasi-immortal fighting skills is unique in the Great Thousand world. Even some super sects are few. As Mu Shi spoke, the noisy venue suddenly became quiet, and everyone was looking at it. They also wanted to see how sacred it was to be able to come up with something so precious as a quasi-immortal fighting skill. In today's world, the classification of fighting skills ranges from the lowest heaven rank, the immortal rank, the holy rank, to the legendary *** rank fighting skills. And the highest god-level fighting skills are said to have the power of gods and ghosts that shake the heavens and the earth, but there are very few in the world. Among the several ranks, there are the most disputes between the holy rank fighting skills and the ** rank fighting skills, because among the two ranks, with the increase in strength, the power difference between the two fighting skills is too great, resulting in many strong players. It is believed that one level should be added to the two levels to distinguish the power of fighting skills. Therefore, with the continuous exploration of many branches and human beings, between the holy level fighting skills and the god level fighting skills, a classification is used to distinguish the power of fighting skills. Immortal fighting skills. After the holy rank fighting skills, only the level of the immortal skills, and after the immortal skills, is the real ** rank fighting skills. Immortal arts are divided into quasi-immortal techniques, low-grade immortal techniques, middle-grade immortal techniques, and high-grade immortal techniques. After that, they are genuine god-level fighting techniques. The so-called celestial arts are similar to ordinary fighting skills, but the only difference is that performing celestial arts not only requires the most support from dazzling fighting chi, but also requires the support of the realm. Possess the domain or the strength exceeds the level of the 5-star fighting immortal. In the Great Thousand Worlds, Heaven rank Do skills are the lowest level, while Immortal rank Do skills are mostly used by Do emperors. As for Saint rank Do skills on the upper level, they are between 1-star Do Xian and 4-star Do Xian. It is generally used, and after that, it is the Immortal fighting technique that can only be used by the 5-star fighting immortals or those with domain power. After the Immortal fighting skills, it is the real God-level fighting skills. The so-called God-level fighting skills are invisible and invisible. It is said that only those who have the strength to set foot on the 8-star fighting immortals or stronger can be qualified to practice, let alone search. Therefore, the classification of Immortal fighting skills was born. This guy, such a huge handwriting. Xiao Yan heard the words and couldn't help turning his head. After all, the value of quasi-immortal art is too huge, even in the entire eastern continent's sword-forging Thunder Valley. It is unique. Even as powerful as Duan Tianhong's 5-star fighting immortal perfection, he only cultivated the peak fighting skills of the holy rank. Quasi-Shanshu? The man who was with Mu Shi cast a glance at Mu Shi, and then said. Above them on the western continent, Xian Pavilion and Crazy Dragon Alliance are also top forces, but in terms of fighting skills, resources or background, Xian Pavilion is even better. After all, Xian Pavilion has a genuine quasi-immortal art. It's not worth it to do this. As Mu Shi raised the sky-high price, other figures who were interested in the combination of human and ghost also shook their heads. Among them, there are many hidden powerhouses, enough taking out something more precious than quasi-immortal art, but the value of this combination of human and ghost is not too big. After all, this is a gambling nature. If you succeed, everyone will be happy. If you fail, to invest so much financial resources, it is not enough to be angry. But there are still people bidding? The man from the Zubao Hui smiled with satisfaction, and then walked around in a circle. Since there is no one, then this guy is yours. Suddenly, the man from the Zubao Hui smiled at Mu Shi. As soon as he finished speaking, the two of them walked towards the medicine pavilion, obviously to complete some cumbersome procedures. It seems that we are not the only ones eyeing this guy. But it's okay, since the enemy's road is narrow, the old hatred and the new hatred will be forgotten together. Xiao Yan slowly hid in the downtown area. With the help of the knight, a black robe appeared on his body, and then slowly followed Mu Shi. Once he left Medicine Pavilion will immediately take action. After all, this Mu Shi, when he was in the space tunnel, rashly attacked their fellow. Dear, click in and give a good review. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that those who give full marks to the new ones have finally found a beautiful wife. The new version of the mobile station upgrades the address. Data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, no ads and fresh reading. Continuing from the previous episode 1452. Let's go to. Xiao Yan walked back and forth gently in the busy city. His attention was always on Mu Shi and the medicine pavilion not far away. In the medicine pavilion, the transaction is easily completed, but the cage that imprisoned the combination of human and ghost is not included in the collection ring, and can only be carried with you, so it is also a hassle. Just imagine carrying such a huge cage with you. It's convenient, and it's easy to be noticed that something is wrong. At that time, things like killing people and stealing goods will also happen from time to time. Senior, can you send someone to send me back to my residence? Mu Shi reluctantly exchanged the treasures of their Xian pavilion for the treasures of the pavilion. If they didn't get the shocking discovery in the end, I'm afraid his father would give it to him. Beaten to death. And there is still a long distance between this busy city and the Xifang city where they live. Above that distance, there are few people and it is the best time to be secretly attacked, so Mu Shi brought such a big cage, he could only ask the middle-aged man from the Zubao Hui for help. I still have something to do. This matter is incompetent. After the man of the Zubao Hui finished speaking, he also left here in a hurry. Obviously, this is the rule of their Zubao Hui. Just make wedding dresses for others. This immortal, the man who watched the Zubao Hui left directly, leaving behind Mu Shi and the cage, and Mu Shi scolded immediately. Walking in Xifang City with such a conspicuous cage will definitely become the object of everyone's hostility, and I have already paid such a painful price. The top priority is to send the things back to the residence first, and then my father and the strong in the cabinet. Naturally, the secret will be cracked. I hope you don't disappoint me. Mu Shi slowly came to the cage, then squatted down, looked at the strange young man in the cage, and spoke slowly, his voice full of enthusiasm. Boom! The young man seemed to be restrained by the power of confinement emanating from the cage all the time, so when Mu Shi drank it like this, his pupils suddenly trembled, and he roared at him as violent as a soul beast. Really a lunatic, can't even speak human words? Forget it, let's go. In an instant, Mu Shi took the cage, avoided many people, and headed back to the residence, but he was secretly locked by many people along the way. Xian Pavilion's residence is in the east of Xifang, with Xiao Yan and the others, but they live on a certain mountain range, so if they want to go back, they must pass through a sparsely populated area, and there, even if it is the powerhouses of Tianming Villa are often ignored, so this place has become the last ambush point. So many people? Xiao Yan had just come here to hide behind a stone, and suddenly the dazzling soul force found that there were some powerful guys around this stone forest, and the strength of these guys was at least 3-star Do Xian. Level. Stone Forest. This is the place that leads to their Xian Pavilion residence, a lush, special area where countless stone forests emerge. The value of the combination of human and ghost cannot be measured, and I don't know what is going on inside Tianming Villa, but it will be put up for auction. If this matter is known to the master of the plane, I am afraid that Tianming Villa will be punished. After all, the anger power of the superiors is enough to destroy the world. A human-ghost combination, if it is truly successful in cultivation in the future, I am afraid it will be the most tyrannical existence in the ghost world. The Lord of Soul Eater smiled. Huously, Xiao Yan only listened to Soul Eater's words. The next moment, at the entrance of the stone forest, a familiar figure appeared slowly, dragging a rather large cage. The man is Mu Shi, and the cage in his hand is the thing that seals the combination of human and ghost, but at this time, the aura of the combination of human and ghost is quite weak, and even the pupils are tightly closed, and there is no resistance at all. If there are so many people, don't be in a hurry. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, the core inscription in his body kept wriggling, and a dazzling array of patterns continued to condense in the center of the palm, which was also filled with a colorless energy stone. The emergence of the formation stones and formation patterns made Xiao Yan ready to fight. This friend is in the lower winds. After a while, a man with a strong body slowly took a step forward, came directly in front of him, and said with a smile on his face, "Feng Ling, the guy from Nanzhou?" Mu Shi naturally knew that it would not be easy to go back to his residence smoothly, but Nanzhou was the weakest place in the surrounding area, and this Feng Ling's strength was only a half-step 3-star Do Xian, which made Mu Shi slow down. Slowly shaking his head, he dared to come and kill with such a weak strength. He looked down on himself too much. Peeved. Without the slightest hesitation, Mu's eyes figure skyrocketed, and then a dazzling vindictive energy filled his body, and his entire body was like a sharp blade, stabbing directly at Feng Ling. Wood-grained reef wall. In an instant, Feng Ling's bright smile turned into a heavy touch, and then a dazzling wood attribute grudge emerged in an instant. Crash! Feng Ling's wood attribute vindictive energy just emerged, and immediately brought a burst of strong vitality of all things, and then formed a green barrier with a size of dozens of meters around it. Above the green barrier, it has an extremely tyrannical defense, but even so, under Mu's eye's attack, it has become shaky. What a hard turtle shell! Mu Shi jumped back without a hit, and then came directly to the cage, staring at this guy. Although this guy is weak, his first-hand wood attribute defense is used. Handy. Brother Huang, let's do it. Otherwise, things will change. In an instant, a roar walked towards a certain place in the stone forest, and suddenly a burly man with a sturdy aura in his eyes, like a mountain, suddenly jumped from the shadows and came to the battlefield. Myriad Body Sect. Huang Lei, I didn't expect you to join forces. Seeing the man in front of him appearing, Mu Shi couldn't help sneering. 10,000 Body Sect. This is a force located on Beizhou. They are extremely low-key, but in terms of body arts they have unique insights, so their overall strength is also among the best in Beizhou. I think you may be mistaken. Our Myriad Body Sect does things, never need to unite with others to kill you, just to repay this guy's kindness. Feng Wanglei smiled slightly, but in that smile, there was a very bright killing intent. Stop talking nonsense. Do it. You hold it. I'll take that cage away. Don't fight. Once you succeed, leave immediately. Feng Ling said seriously. Zeratzia. The next moment, what a tyrannical force. This guy's power is too terrifying. Until now, Mu Zai's face was slightly moved because of Huang Lei's strength. It is exactly the same as himself, and it is also in the middle stage of Samsung Fighting Immortals. Dear, click in and give a good review. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that those who give full marks to the new ones have finally found a beautiful wife. The new version of the mobile station upgrades the address. Data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, no ads and fresh reading. Continuing from the previous episode 1453. Except, Tiger Claw Bow. In an instant, Huang Lei didn't have any hesitation, his body bent like a tiger preying on it, and the dazzling yellow fighting chi suddenly spread out, and then launched an attack on Mu Shi. Clap-la-la. A circle of fighting chi ripples like a tide, spread out from Huang Lei's palm in an instant, and then in front of him, formed a natural bow and arrow, with a fierce breath, suddenly attacked Mu Shi. What a tyrannical attack. This guy's strength really lives up to its reputation. In an instant, Mu Shi did not hesitate at all, his mind moved, and the dazzling power suddenly spread out, and a trace of silver space power set off his figure quite because of the mystery. He looked at Huang Lei vigilantly. Go! Huang Lei didn't hesitate, his palm suddenly slapped, and then the terrifying bow and arrow in his palm flew out like lightning, with a savage aura, blasting away at Mu Shi. Spacebound. Boom! Mu Shi snorted, and the silver space collided with the bow and arrow in an instant. Wing Om Om. The seemingly tyrannical energy bows and arrows could not move forward even under the shackles of the power of space, and the two sides were changing and the other was growing, and the power was slowly dissolving. The tyrannical attack fluctuations of the two made this space dry, and the smell of gunpowder became more and more tyrannical. On the other side, the formation stones and formation patterns in Xiaoyan's hands were also condensed, but he did not rush to do it. A black robe appeared on his body, completely covering up his figure. Since Mu Shi and Huang Lei were fighting, then he would go first, take the cage back and deal with them. This guy, seeing that Mu Shi was temporarily entangled by Huang Lei, Feng Ling didn't hesitate. His figure moved quickly, easily bypassed Mu Shi, and came to the cage where the power of the combination of human and ghost was imprisoned. Is this a combination of human and ghost? It doesn't seem to be any different. Feng Ling slowly stared at the cage, surprised. In the cage, there was a faint dark ghost aura on the young man's body, and even behind the ghost aura, there seemed to be other auras. Couldn't help but feel a sense of fear. At this time, the man was sitting cross-legged, his eyes were slightly closed, and he did not have any language or movement, just sitting in the cage, surrounded by tyrannical restrictions, which made the man look quite uncomfortable. Forget it. Take it back and talk about it. For a moment, Feng Ling didn't hesitate. On the palm of his hand, the dazzling Do Qi energy continued to overflow, facing the cage, trying to break the cage with one blow. Bang bang bang. Feng Ling was extremely careful, but when his palm touched the cage lightly, a piercing pain suddenly emerged, and the energy dissipated in an instant, but the cage was intact. Boom! In the next moment, before Feng Ling could react, a strange red fire curtain suddenly sucked the figures of Feng Ling and the cage into it. As for Huang Lei, they didn't notice the disappearing Feng Ling. Damn! What is this? Although Feng Ling's strength is only half a step 3-star Do Xian, but his sense of smell is extremely sensitive. He just tried to break the cage and failed, and he was pulled directly into it by something. The place where he is now is like a 1,000-year-old volcano, and hot lava can be seen everywhere, and pieces of strange energy suddenly emerge. The power of the formation is a different space, and the caster can pull anyone into it, as long as it is unaware. You bastard! Suddenly, when Feng Ling was looking at the cage, he suddenly found a figure bathed in a black robe. There was nothing strange about the figure. The only thing that was certain was that behind this guy, carrying a huge ruler. Humph! The black-clothed man snorted coldly, and suddenly melted everywhere, with a wave of extreme heat, suddenly chasing and killing Feng Ling. This person is Xiaoyan. Crash! At this time, the purgatory formation was being used by Xiaoyan, and it was no longer a problem to trap Samsung Dushan easily. When Feng Ling was in a hurry to deal with his formation, Xiaoyan also came to the cage and carefully measure up. What's your name? Xiaoyan's rather indifferent tone contained a hint of fanaticism. This was the first time he had come to Daqin world to have such a close encounter with a clan with the same bloodline. Xiao Gui. In an instant, following Xiaoyan's arrival and opening, the young man in the cage slowly opened his pupils, then stared at Xiaoyan and said, "Where are your parents?" Xiaoyan asked. "They're all dead," said the young man Zaidu, but when Xiaoyan mentioned the word, parents, this guy's sharp edges and corners clearly showed a rare murderous intent. "Forget it. I'll take you out of here first." After a while, Xiaoyan was no longer asking, and the aura in his body became surging. "This cage contains extremely tyrannical restrictions," the young man said slowly. "Soul power." Xiaoyan heard the words, nodded slowly, and then the dazzling soul power was like a volcanic eruption, leaning towards the cage. Bang bang bang. The colorless and invisible soul power had just hit the cage, and there was no movement at all. It seemed that even the soul power had been eaten away. "Damn," Feng Ling said angrily while dealing with the extreme flames in the purgatory formation, while watching Xiaoyan's every move. "Yep, where's the figure of Feng Ling?" Outside, Huang Lei and Mu Shi were in an indistinct fight for a while, and Huang Lei glanced around, but found that Feng Ling and the cage were gone on the ground, but the original one existed. In the ground of the two figures, there is a rather obscure fluctuation, and they are suddenly shocked. "Huang Lei, why don't we stop first, and wait for the guy to be dealt with? How about the battle?" The next moment, Mu Shi also noticed the subtle fluctuations on the ground and said immediately, "Okay, The two hit it off, and immediately the breath burst out, and they suddenly went to the ground. The formation method is to occupy a certain space as one's own, thus covering the original space with the formation method, so the two of them just left facing the ground, and immediately rushed into Xiao Yan's formation method. Bang bang bang. In an instant, the bodies of the two suddenly rushed into Xiao Yan's formation. Little bastard, it really is you. Just after entering the purgatory formation, an extremely terrifying wave was born, but when Mu Shi saw Xiao Yan's figure, he knew that this guy was the one who was in the space passage back then. The powerhouse of the continent's forces is because this guy was scolded by the powerhouses in the pavilion. This time, he will naturally not let him go easily. It's a little troublesome now. Xiao Yan slowly rolled his eyes at the three people above, and suddenly laughed. It's just that this so-called trouble only refers to breaking the cage. As for the two guys in the middle stage of the three-star fighting immortals in front of them, if they want to defeat themselves in their own formation, it is tantamount to hitting a stone with an egg. Let's do it together and kill this guy. When the time comes, the combination of human and ghost will be given to you. Mu Shi smiled. If that's the case, then it's better to be respectful than to obey. Double burst of strength. In an instant, Huang Lei shouted loudly, and suddenly circles of strange fluctuations appeared on his body, and then the power above his body reached a new level. Just to try the power of the purgatory formation controlled by the stone formation pattern. Seeing this, Xiao Yan also temporarily put down the cracking cage, and a prismatic stone slowly emerged in his hand. It's just that on this seemingly insignificant stone, the number of patterns turned out to be as high as 34,000 existences. Dear, click in and give a good review. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that those who give full marks to the new ones have finally found a beautiful wife. The new version of the mobile station upgrades the address. Data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, no ads and fresh reading. Continuing from the previous episode 1454. The prismatic stone in this guy's hand seems to be a bit incredible. Huang Lei's eyes became serious, because the extreme flame power in this purgatory formation, even if it is his current level of tyranny, is still vague. Yu felt uneasy, not to mention the strange formation stone in Xiao Yan's hand, which made him feel a wave of palpitations. Let's do it together. Although Mu Shi was arrogant, he didn't dare to take it lightly when he was in Xiao Yan's formation, and said with a cold snort. Okay. As soon as the voice fell, the two figures suddenly burst out, and bursts of bright offensive attacked Xiao Yan. The power of the giant elephant. Huang Lei didn't pause, the dazzling energy spread instantly, and a phantom appeared on the surface of his body. Huang Lei was originally a practitioner of physique, but after this phantom appeared like a giant elephant, his power increased even more. Up a level. Fighting soul? Xiao Yan was slightly surprised when he saw this. No, it's not a fighting spirit. Although this thing is somewhat similar to a fighting spirit, it is far from the fighting spirit. The next moment, Xiao Yan shook his head and said, obviously the huge soul power has given Xiao Yan very strong perception. Take it. Huang Lei breathed heavily, and then he clenched his fist tightly. With the blessing of the giant elephant's phantom, a terrifying force that made the scalp numb unexpectedly emerged from the fist, thus directly facing Xiao. The location of the flames suddenly attacked. Boom! The blow that seemed to be an understatement actually contained a powerful blow that was enough to obliterate a powerhouse of the same level. The fierce energy wind suddenly shot towards Xiao Yan. Let's get started. Seeing this, Xiao Yan couldn't help but let out a laugh from his black robe. Therefore, the formation stone in his hand was instantly merged into the purgatory formation by Xiao Yan. The formation seemed to come alive, countless flames emerged in an instant, and even Xiao Yan's body became illusory. Bang bang bang. Huang Lei's attack was certainly tyrannical, but when he approached Xiao Yan's eyes became illusory, so that dazzling attack actually penetrated easily under everyone's attention, and was caught countless flames in the rear easily nibble away. How could it be possible? Huang Lei's expression became strange when he noticed this scene. No matter what, he never imagined that Xiao Yan would be so tyrannical. In my formation, I am the king. Xiao Yan's arrogant voice suddenly emerged from the formation space. Crash! As Xiao Yan's voice resounded, bursts of fiery red flames suddenly gathered from all directions in the formation. This guy's formation is a bit tricky. Seeing this, Huang Lei couldn't help frowning. He majored in physique, and the most tyrannical thing was power. The tyrannical power gave his attacks unimaginable destructive power. In this formation, Xiao Yan's body could be any flame, so Huang Lei's power is also limited. Space bondage. Seeing this, Mu Shi nodded slowly, and then the dazzling silver energy suddenly gathered. Now, only if he restrains Xiao Yan and Huang Lei makes a powerful blow, can he have a chance to defeat Xiao Yan. Flame Flood Dragon, come out for me. With a loud shout, a huge fire dragon nearly 100 feet in size suddenly condensed and formed in the formation space. Ho ho ho! The flame dragon just appeared, and immediately pushed the flames in this formation space to a new height. Bound me. At this moment, Mu Shi couldn't help drinking. In this purgatory formation, the flames always make them have to separate a part of their minds to guard against it, otherwise once the flames spread, they will suffer serious internal injuries in their bodies. Dragon Breath. Xiao Yan smiled slowly. Ho ho ho! As Xiao Yan's voice fell, the flame dragon suddenly opened its mouth and exhaled, and groups of fiery red flames suddenly emerged from the dragon's mouth, and even this flame power was different from other powers, because this power, it is the power of the great heavenly seed. Damn it! Seeing this, Mu Shi immediately dissipated the dazzling power of space. He could only keep protecting himself from being affected by Xiao Yan's dazzling flame power. After all, the flame power of the great heaven seed was under the blessing of the formation. Has soared to a new level. It's so *** unlucky. Fengling, let's go. Huang Lei's eyes became strange, and then he glanced at Xiao Yan, who was invincible like *** of war above. The current Xiao Yan, relying on the number of formation patterns, is almost an invincible existence in his formation. Unless the opponent's strength is a rank higher than his own, or the fighting skills are too different, it is impossible for Xiao Yan to be Xiao Yan. Fire opponent. You guys. Mu Zai's expression became even more ugly when he saw that the two around him had retreated. Huang Lei's strength should not be underestimated, but in this formation, his strength is useless even if he is tyrannical, and once the two of them leave, his own situation is also in jeopardy. Wang buzzing. Huang Lei's voice just fell, and suddenly a trace of pity flashed in Feng Ling's eyes, but the palm of his hand suddenly rolled, and a longan-sized medicinal pill appeared, suddenly squeezed, and a strange mist emerged. Therefore, the figures of the two left here in an instant. Next, we can settle the matter between us. Xiao Yan controlled the flame dragon, and then a strange smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and said, Little bastards, don't be complacent, you Dongzhou, one day you will be completely convinced by our feat. Wait! Mu Zai's eyes changed, and he said immediately. There will be a period later. At the next moment, even if he was reluctant, Mu Shi turned around and left. The current self would not be Xiao Yan's opponent. Peefed! With a sound, Mu Zai's figure disappeared in the formation space in an instant, but they didn't know that this was because Xiao Yan deliberately let them go in order to provoke trouble. After all, it is now on the eve of the Four Continents competition www. Link to novelmtl.com. Xiao Yan doesn't want to cause more troubles, otherwise once Xiao Yan decides to kill, with the power of over 30,000 core inscriptions at this time, these guys probably won't be able to get out of Xiao Yan's 10 moves. Xiao Yan, see you in the future. I will definitely take back all the shame today. And this cage was obtained by you, but without me, I am afraid that no one in this world can crack it. Ha ha ha. At the same time as Mu Shi left, a violent laughter also remained in the formation. Obviously, during the auction, the guy from the Zubao Hui told Mu Shi the only way to break the cage. If I had known, I wouldn't have let this guy go. Xiao Yan shook his head helplessly. Obviously, the tyranny of this cage was far beyond Xiao Yan's imagination. Forget it. Let's go back first. Xiao Yan gently dissipated the formation, and then took the cage towards his residence. With his huge soul power, he avoided many dangers with ease along the way. Dear, click in and give a good review. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that those who give full marks to the new ones have finally found a beautiful wife. The new version of the mobile station upgrades the address. Data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, no ads and fresh reading.